Pavani Arya this side, Faculty Chemistry of Delhi Public World School, Kotputli. And today I'm going to teach you actually in a one short video of first chapter of class 10, chemical reactions and equations. So we'll start with the topic, and the topic in the topic it is given the chemical reactions. So we'll be starting with that. So chemical reactions are the reactions you all might have seen somewhere written that something A plus B gives C and D, all sorts of reactions. So first we'll talk about what chemical reactions are, what they are made up of. So every chemical reaction contains or composites of two substances or two categories of substances, and when we categorize, so first is the reactant and second one is the product. So reactants are those substances basically which combine together, they mixes with them itself and they gives us a compound or a product. So for example, we see a reaction where magnesium ribbon reacts with the oxygen which is present in the air to give us magnesium oxide. So here the components or the substance which comes under the reactant categories are magnesium and oxygen, and the product would be the magnesium oxide. Now, what is the chemical reactions and how does it differs from the physical reactions, or what is the chemical change in a simpler terms, or how does it differ from the physical changes? So there are various characteristics which are given in your book as well in NCERT. The characteristic of a chemical reaction, and the first is evolution of gas. Means whenever two reactants combine together, so how do we know whether it is a physical change or a chemical change? So whenever there is an evolution of gas, means for example when zinc reacts with the sulfuric acid, so we observe that bubbles of hydrogen gas, like we see the pop-up sound when we bring a candle closer to the beaker in which that reaction is taking place. So there is evolution of hydrogen gas whenever a metal reacts with acid. So this would be the first characteristic of chemical reaction. The second is formation of precipitate. Precipitate means any insoluble substance whenever they are formed on the product side. Means we have two sides, one is the reactant side and the second is the product side. So whenever reactants react together and an insoluble substance which is not going to dissolve into the solution present, which is going to be just lying there at the bottom, and means the insoluble substance, whensoever an insoluble substance forms, so that would be a characteristic, the second characteristic of chemical reaction. Now is the color change. Color change. So the color change whenever we add one reactant into the another, and if there is any specific color already that reactant has or that substance has, or after mixing, if there is any color change, for example it can be colorless before the reaction and can be of some different color or characteristic color after the reaction, or it can have a characteristic color before the reaction and red color can change to any other color or to colorless. So means whensoever there is a color change, we can say that some chemical reaction is happening over there. Now is the fourth one, and the fourth one is change in temperature. This reaction actually you might have noticed in your surrounding, like whenever you mix detergent, and in that if you mix little amount of water, so you feel heat on your hand, and that heat is because there is some heat produced whenever the detergent mixed with the water, means the heat is released. Or another example is when you add in the quicklime water, so we receive a product known as slaked lime, and some heat is also released there. So this would be the fourth characteristic of chemical reaction. Now is the fifth one, that is change of state. Now change of state can be a bit confusing, means in the physical changes also, like the melting of ice or the boiling of water, there is also a physical change, means there is also a change in state. But what I am talking about, for example, the burning of candle. In burning of candle or in any kind of burning, wherever there is combustion, so we say that the oxygen combine with that substance and gives us CO2 and water. So here, whenever a candle is burning, so at that point the wax is solid, and after combining with oxygen, means when combustion is taking place, it is making CO2, and CO2 is gas, and plus water is a byproduct which would be liquid. So here if we see that the solid after reacting with the gas gives gas and liquid, means there is a change in state in burning of candle, and that is a characteristic of chemical reaction that is going to be there. So in conclusion, what will we say, what would be a chemical reaction? So a chemical reaction would be where generally the non-reversible or irreversible changes takes place. In physical changes, we can if we reverse the conditions, we can get our reactant back, but in chemical reactions, just by reversing the condition, we cannot simply get our reactants back. Alright, now would be what is actually a chemical reaction? Means now we can tell whether some chemical reaction is taking place by telling the chemical properties or chemical characteristics, but apart from that, what is a chemical reaction? So for example, there we have two substances which are reacting with each other and they are making some product. So what is happening? For example, here if we have a compound A which is bonded with itself A, and we have a second compound or second substance which is B, which is bonded with B. So when they are making a new product, that is AB, so that means in order to make this new compound, they must have break their bonds within their bond, and after that they made new bond with the another one. So this would be the chemical reactions, means where the old bonds within themselves or in their stable forms are broken and new bond with the other substances are formed. So this is a chemical reaction. After that, we have two types of chemical reactions. One is balanced and another is imbalanced. Balanced one would be, for example, zinc plus H2SO4 gives zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gases evolved. Okay, so here if you count on what tells you when some chemical reaction is balanced or not, so that would be that the number of atoms of each type of element on the left hand side, whether they are equal in number to the number of atoms of each element on the right hand side. So for example, if we see here, we have on the left hand side, we have one zinc atom on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. Then in case of hydrogen, we have two atoms of hydrogen on the left hand side and two on the right hand side. Then comes sulfur, so we have one on the left and one on the right, and at the end we have oxygen, so oxygen we have 4 on the left and 4 on the right. Means here we have the total number of atoms of each element, the left hand side and on the right hand side equal or same. So that means this is a balanced chemical reaction. Now comes the unbalanced. H2 plus O2 gives H2. First, let's count the number of atoms. So on the left hand side, there are 2 and 2, and in case of oxygen, we have 2 on left hand side and 1 on right hand side. be unbalanced. So thing is, if you remember in the 9th class there was the laws of chemical combination, and there was the first law of conservation of mass, that says that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in any chemical reactions, which means if there are certain number of atoms which are going to combine to give a product, so that means the total number of atoms of every element should be equal to the total number of atoms of that particular element should be same. Means the total number of atoms should be same. So that is the need of balancing each chemical reaction. So how do we balance it then? Basically, if we balance, we just multiply it with the number. Actually, we will discuss this balancing in detail. So here, what we can do, since this is just a simple reaction, so we just multiply it with the whole number. When we multiply it over here, and now we see that the total number of hydrogen is also changed with the oxygen. That means this is also changed, and to balance it up, we will multiply this. So now we have 4 hydrogen this side, 4 hydrogen right hand side, 2 oxygen on the right hand side, and 2 oxygen on the left hand side. So this would be our balanced chemical reactions. Now how did we do this? See, the thing is, first there is in your class it is just the hit and try method. Means you can just multiply any element or the number of every element with some whole number, and then you can just give it a try. Like for example, yes, this reaction, magnesium and oxygen to give magnesium oxide. So what would be the procedure? First would be the table making. And how do we make the table? We make the 3 rows. In first, we will be writing down the elements. In the second one, we will be writing down the left hand side, number of atoms, and in the third one, we will be writing down the right hand side. So in the element, what element we have? First we have magnesium, then we have oxygen. Now on the left hand side, we have 1 atom of magnesium, and on the right hand side, 1 atom there as well. Now the second one is oxygen, and oxygen we have 2 oxygen atoms on the left hand side and 1 on the right hand side. Now first we need to balance the oxygen, since it is not equal, it is unequal, magnesium is also already equal. So in order to make it, we will try to multiply it with the whole number. One more thing, with whatever number we are multiplying, whether on the left hand side or on the right hand side, will come over here only. We can never write that number in the subscript or in the upper script. Okay, we can only write in the form of coefficients only. We call it stoichiometric coefficients. So basically we will write in the front, and whatever number we will be writing, for example here we will be multiplying it with some number because we want to balance the oxygen out. So with whatever number we will be writing over here, so that number is being multiplied with the total number of magnesium as well. So where were we? We were on the oxygen. So we wanted to balance the oxygen out, and in order to do that, we will first multiply it with by 2. Now we have 2 oxygens on the left but 2 on the right. So means the reaction is balanced, but since we have written here 2, so means with this 2, this magnesium is also getting multiplied. Means now the magnesium is 2 on the right hand side and 1 on the left hand side. So to balance this, we will write 2 over here. Now we have 2 magnesium atoms on the left hand side and 2 on the right. Now this was a simple example. We also have some complicated chemical reactions. So how to do them? Just follow a procedure. First make this table, then write down the elements present. Then in the left hand side corner, write down the number of atoms present on the left hand side, then on the right hand side. Then after that, start with balancing the metals, then non-metals, then oxygen, and then hydrogen. If you are given with a much more complicated chemical reaction. So just try following this procedure. First start balancing the metal, then in order to balance it, if it is already balanced, then move to non-metal, then if it is already balanced, then move to oxygen and then hydrogen. After performing each step, go back to the first step to check whether that particular already balanced metal is still balanced or not, or is it being multiplied with the stoichiometric coefficient or not, and just follow this procedure till the whole reaction is balanced. Okay, now after that we have few informative signs in which, like you might have seen in some reactions, something is written like this, S or L, AQ. In the bottom, sometimes it is written. Actually, so this is just to make it more informative, just to tell the state. Means if it is written S, so that means it is solid. If it is written L, so means the state of that particular substance is liquid. If it is written AQ, means it is the aqueous solution that we are dealing in that particular reaction. Now, second is the signs. Means when I wrote the reaction, this one, so it would be the solid, gas and solid. Okay, now this reaction means this shows that something is combined with the another one. The one reactant is combined with the another one. This arrow shows that when someone combines, so it is to give or whatever gives the product. Means the reaction has taken place, and whatever will be written after this arrow would be the product. Okay, then is the heat. We also show heat, means sometimes we write reactants plus heat to give product, and sometimes we write reactant gives product plus heat. So what's the difference? Means reactants. So sometimes reactant do not generally react with each other so easily. So we will have to give them some extra energies or some additional energy. So we give heat from the outside, and these kind of reactions, these types of reactions are known as endothermic. Means where heat is given out to the system. The reactions where reactants combine together and a product is given out plus some heat is also released. So in those type of reactions we call them exothermic, where heat is given out at the product. And that would be the all about the chemical reactions. How we write them, what these symbols symbolize, plus what does heat represent, and one more characteristic actually, presence. Means in what condition any reaction is taking place, that we also symbolize or that we also elaborate or we try to write. For example, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis reaction takes place in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Means what reactions, what situations are necessary, what conditions are mandatory for any reaction to take place. So those reactions, in those reactions we just simplify above and below the arrow, we write down the conditions which are required for that particular reaction to happen. And this is the photosynthesis reaction in which the carbon dioxide reacts with water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to give glucose plus oxygen as byproduct. Now these were the type of reactions, how we write them or what would be the characteristic of chemical reactions. Now comes the next topic, and that is type of chemical reactions. And we will be discussing that in next video. So that will be all. Stay tuned for the types of chemical reactions that we will be discussing in our next video.